Welcome back to TaskForcePodcast, an Airsoft podcast made by the Airsofters for the Airsofters.
Jesus. What is up, everybody?
What's going on, guys?
It took us long enough.
I started the stream but didn't go live. And so we watched the intro. And
I'm so pissed off.
And then I was like, oh, better do another playback because it was not
Right.
actually live. So
Anyway, welcome.
the show's just getting worse.
The show is getting worse, progressively worse, and it's okay.
That's all right.
I'm
I like it that
nasty.
way. I'm Snake, and today we have a special guest, of course, TA Nightwing, one of the guys from True Aim.
First question, how do you like Caber?
Oh, he's fun.
Is
That's
he?
all I can say. He's just so much fun. Yeah, he's just adamant. He does all sorts of craziness. You should have saw when we got our certificate of occupancy for our new storefront. He literally dropped his pants and danced. I mean, you can't go
Cool.
wrong.
Money. That's what Caber, that's Caber. So whoever doesn't know Caber is weird, by the way.
Yes,
And-
this is a statement for sure by now.
But, okay, so introduce us, you.
yeah, we don't care about Caber anymore.
Right. Caber
You're gonna,
sucks.
You're gonna
Go
be
ahead.
cooler than Caber.
Right.
He's been on twice, so I'm just behind him. So I can pick up pretty quick, so this will be good. But, yeah, a little bit about me. I mean, I've been playing Airsoft for 15 years now. I'm a part of Team Tacos. I'm also CFO, True Aim, and the Arms right now. And so, yeah, I just love Airsoft. I love being part of it. I tech on guns. I just built like 3 guns. We actually built a ridiculous monstrosity that's right behind me. It's, we call it the
What the
Domination.
fuck?
This is literally an ARP9. It's an SSG barrel kit with a drop stock with a stubby stock attached to it. We were inspired by the original Tommy gun and turned it into a modern day Tommy gun. So this is just the madness that we do. So I got to be a part of building that. That was a lot of fun.
That is bad.
I don't like it.
See, a lot of people say I don't like it, but I kind of do.
Right. It's like there's something like the overall Tommy gun shape. It makes it like, maybe it's all right.
Yeah.
But I don't like it. I don't like
I
it.
think it's cool.
I don't
It's
like that
different.
it makes me feel that way.
That's fair. But it is cool. I think if that's your thing, that's your style. See, we're old. We just like our old basic M4 looking shit, you
Yep.
know.
Yep.
I don't want anything fancy crazy anymore now. Like I'm just
What?
afraid. I'm just afraid they'll fuck it up.
Who's they?
Like whoever manufactures a gun, like I just feel like if you make anything that is overly unique, you end up with a fucking
A time
you
bomb?
end up with a JG Dragon. And nobody wants that.
No.
Nobody wants that. Like you know what I'm
That's
saying?
yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that was a fucking Pokemon Magikarp. Okay, that's what that thing is.
Fair enough.
Like, let's be real.
So, story, what got you started in Airsoft? Was it paintball? I bet it's paintball.
Actually, you're wrong. I actually
Thank
started out
God.
as a boys just get together, have some fun kind of thing. So, flashback to me freshman year in high school. What really got it started was I was in drumline. So we would do Saturday drumline practices and stuff like that. And so during one hour, the corners of Taco Bell, so we would just take a break, go get Taco Bell and hang out. Well, this time it was different because everybody decided, you know what, let's play some Airsoft. We're like, frick is Airsoft? And they just pulled out, cheap clear Springer pistols and just started shooting at each other. Again, no iPro, no supervision, just shoot at each other and, have fun. We just chased each other around this empty school property. And it was a blast. And I was like, the frick is this? I took it from my friend. I'm like, this is cool. Oh, that's how it works. Whack! Oh, this is the best.
Yeah.
That's where it all started. And then
Hell
we
yeah.
just shoot each other for kicks and giggles with these cheap Springers. And then actually one of my leaders at my church in my Bible study was like, hey, we used to do Airsoft boys group kind of thing. We just meet up and just play Airsoft. You want to set something up? I'm like, sure, let's go. So we set up, bought like 10 rifles, 5-on-5 kind of stuff. And they were like M4s. Like, it doesn't even exist anymore. Probably for that reason. So we just shot each other for a little bit. And then from there, he was like, hey, let's just make this a ministry. Invite kids over and we can have some fun.
Shit.
And then it was just 5-on-5, good clean play. Pay $5 an hour to play, unlimited ammo. And again, these things didn't shoot that much, so it wasn't that big. And we played on basically just a dirt lot behind the church, and we just dragged plywood sheets with A-frames on them, and basically just shot at each other with little bunkers. You just duck behind and shoot, and then duck behind the next one and shoot. And that's kind of how it was. And then from there,
that's crazy.
We got more people, and people started coming in, and it got busy. So we'd get like 20 people waiting to play. No big deal. A lot of fun. Rotate them out. It wasn't until the first guy showed up with like a legit M4. And he was just upgraded the works, and he was just shooting the crap out of us. Nowadays, it's like a regular rental nowadays, that level.
Right.
But for us, we were like, whoa, this is serious. So we're like, okay, let's expand. So we did painter's tarp stretched between T-posts, as sophisticated that sounds. And then the first guy who showed up with a bolt-action sniper that could shoot 450 and higher literally shot through the tarp. We're like, okay, back to plywood. But by that point, we had like 30 people wanting to play on a weekend. And we're like, okay, we can't just do these plywood bunkers. So let's expand again. So we got approval from the church to expand to the back section of our property, which is over 3 acres. And so like, all right, well, you guys can set it up. You guys have this allotted land, do what you want, and that kind of thing. And that's where Airsoft Ministry officially started. So if you guys go on our Facebook page and look up Airsoft Ministry, it's not an active page anymore. It's still there. But you can see old pictures from day one to where we are now. And so then at first it was just cemented bunkers, so we didn't have to drag it every weekend. And then from there, people were like sweeping up the right-hand side because all the barriers were this way. So you literally just ran up the one side and just shot the crap out of people. And we're like, okay, let's get more creative. Let's start adding 3D buildings. So we started doing 3D frames and stuff like that. And then now we're well off Airsoft Field. We have 4 fields, and we actually have legit buildings, doorways, windows, actual building structures that the Navy cadets actually train in. So all sorts of cool stuff. So we went from like 5-on-5 just for kicks and giggles boys group thing to a ministry to a full-on field to a business. That's where I started.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
That's wild.
I just want to say,
wait a minute. Shout out the church, right?
right.
Like that church. Look them up.
Shout out, man.
I just want to say, you described True Aim way better than Caber has
ever described.
Caber's like, I have a field. We have games. It's fun. You should come out here. We do stuff different.
And then this guy comes
you
hits
come
us
on
with
here
some
and
facts.
you're like, hey, this is what all we've got out there. And I'm like, hey, you know what?
That's cool.
I want to go play there right now.
Right.
Yeah.
I'd be on my way.
So
shout out.
Caber, if you're not paying my mans, you need to pay my
Yeah,
mans
you need to pay him more money. He just and like that's a commercial. Edit that. We need to cut that out. This is True Aim. This is what they're about.
Right.
You're welcome, Caber.
That's right.
Okay.
That is really freaking
That
awesome,
is though.
because-
I would have never imagined.
Right, like, and I feel like all your best airsofters are the ones who came from like Springer days. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
People who started up with just the bare bones and really have an appreciation for it.
Yep.
I feel like people nowadays who start straight into like Speed QB, I feel like it
never understand.
It's not quite the same, right? It's not quite the same. Versus like
it took me from a Springer to a Walmart gun to another Springer style rifle to, oh my God, you're taking me to Dick's Sporting Goods for an automatic?
Right.
Oh, and then it starts that game in your head, man. And then now here I am with
then
9
you're,
not working
like,
guns.
out there thinking you're hot shit, and then you're like getting shot and having no idea where it's coming from.
Right, and thinking it's awesome.
Yeah.
And then now you work at a you help build a field, work there.
Yeah.
Dude, that's wild. That's a cool fucking story. It's been a while since we've had a solid story, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, it's a blast. I mean, for me, I started out with a Springer pistol, and then my cousin got out of Airsoft, so he gifted me his shotgun. Well, this shotgun was was it the Big 5 Special, right? It was at the time it was Smith & Wesson, but it really wasn't Smith & Wesson. It was actually, double eagle body, basically, just Smith & Wesson licensed. But it was a double eagle shotgun. It used mid caps, no winder or anything like that. It used mid caps, and it held 30 shots each. This thing is dead accurate. I still have it to this day. You can actually buy them still from eBay. You can buy them; they're like $30. And this shotgun has a hop-up unit. adjustable hop-up unit. They don't make them this way anymore. It's super cool and mid-cap. And then I actually found Evike. They do, I forget what it's actually called, but Double Eagle makes them. It's a high-capacity mag, holds about 200 rounds with a winder at the bottom. Oh my gosh, I go nuts with this thing. It's so much fun.
Double Eagle had some good guns back in the day.
And there's only one kink to the gun itself. Is actually the tube where the shotgun slide is on. It breaks there because it's just cheap plastic. But when you get the new one, just drill right through it, put a bolt, washer on both sides, and nut it. That thing will never break again.
Okay.
That's the only kink in that entire shotgun.
We need to do this. This sounds badass.
Pick up a cheap shotgun.
And it shoots 2 5s across field. It's amazing.
Damn. Should you imagine a fucking like 3.5 coming around a corner? Oh, God. Fuck. Yeah, just now we're fighting. Now I'm going to be the next Instagram video because I'm beating your ass.
Luckily,
with a pump shotgun, and it shoots one at a time.
Ow, fucking bitch.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, that's where it came from, was the pistol to the shotgun. Then my next rifle was a D-Boys M4, which worked pretty well, but, it's aluminum body, so the mag well just wouldn't fit after a while. And then I basically ran with that for a while until I couldn't take it anymore. Then I went to the big boy games and got myself a Crytek.
Oh, that's a jump. That was a jump. You're like, you know what? I'm not playing around anymore. We are serious.
I was so tired of this mag jiggle. Like, come on, freaking feed. Like, I'd be behind someone. Like, come on, you freaking magazine. I need to hit somebody. Let's go.
I still have a whole MCX that does that, but it's fine.
Dude, I think I went from like a Walmart gun and I went and played at my local field, and that's when I ran into everybody out there and was like,
holy shit.
What the shit is this? And
you're wearing camouflage. Do you understand that?
my next purchase was ICS.
Yes.
So
nice.
It's like,
but that was the golden times to buy solid. Like when you spent $600, you got an airsoft rifle you could have for years.
Well,
it was built good.
Not only that, also, but also like there was something cool about it not quite having the range that the guns nowadays do, because it was like you had to kind of piece shit together to figure it out.
Right.
And like no one was a real professional tech. I feel like
no,
and
not
like
at
you
the
would
time.
if you did find somebody, it was like few and far between, especially in our area.
Yeah,
and then. So you're just
you learned close combat,
it out, right?
You learned like hard close combat.
Like, bro, brand new gun. Okay, well, I'm gonna need a piston head, piston or a cylinder head. I'm also gonna need a fucking 120 spring, and I'm also gonna need a spring guide as well, so I can just go ahead and get it started right off the bat,
right off the rip. And then now it's just like he said, you buy a Crytek, and you're good. That's it. Buy a Crytek, 6 mags, and you're fine.
Home free.
You buy a SIG MCX and you're God.
Right.
Doesn't matter. That to me is what is crazy to see, like that difference, because I remember working hard to get the range that you can just get out of the box now.
Dude, I remember just at this one point just be like, keep aiming higher and I promise it'll hit. Like you just do and it never makes it, man. So your experience now, after all this time, what is the life of your field now?
So let's see. Like now, so we're in the summer season now. So numbers dwindle back down to the about 80-ish players in a day. But in the springtime, we're hitting usually 150 to 200 people on the fields. So kind of nuts going from our 5v5 kind of days to 150 to 200 people on the field at once. Our main field is about an acre size. It's about 300 feet long, about 150 feet wide, and it's just full of full-size buildings, 1 panel by 1 panel, 8 foot by 8 foot building rooms, all the way up to our, about 32 feet wide versus 40 feet wide buildings. And there's like multi-room mazes. I designed the field layouts. I use as extensive as it gets is Excel spreadsheets. I have everything in 1x1 cube.
Yeah, dude.
Every cube is 4 feet wide. So when I do my buildings, I can do full aerial view layouts, and it's
must have went to college.
Right? Yeah. And that was the best way to map it out. We used to, let's take you back 10 years to the Airsoft ministry days. We literally would go to breakfast at a Denny style place. and sit there and go, so what's the field layout? So we used to drag everything out there. We used to sit down and go, what do we want to do? I don't know. Hey, look, sugar packets. And we just lay out sugar packets where our layout. Yeah, let's take a picture with a camera, bring it out to the field, and then just resurrect the field based off of the layout.
That is awesome. That is dedication on you want this to be a thing.
Right.
We need and want this.
Right.
So we're gonna do it.
Right.
Yep.
Take inspiration, mill some events.
That's
right.
Okay, because
that's also the other thing too, right? Is like everybody always like thinks like I feel like the one thing I hear the most is on YouTube is like, oh, I want to start a YouTube channel, but I don't have enough camera, or I don't have a good enough camera or equipment or whatever. Like, dude, everybody starts somewhere. So like, if you want to play airsoft, it doesn't matter what you get. Like everybody starts somewhere. So don't be afraid to start with a cheap, $30 pistol or whatever,
and punch the guy that makes fun of you.
I guarantee you will still have fun with the Springer.
Right. Dude, I had a blast.
That same 1 cent BB that's going to hit somebody else counts. Doesn't matter if it comes out of an $800 gun or a $30 gun. Even through a blow dart thing, it doesn't matter. They still got to call their hits.
That's right. Fuck it. Dude, that would be wild. And just run away, that would be sick, dude.
Dude, I don't know. So
yeah, for the field nowadays, it's just busy with players. We have 4 fields. So we have the main field, which is about an acre size. Then we have a side field that's right next to it, and it's literally the same length, so 300 feet, but only 50 feet wide. So that side field's more for like, hey, I don't want to play main field with everybody else, but I want to play on the side field with my buddies, but have a lot to play on. Side field's great too, because even if you did groups of 20v20, which we do when we have low attendance days, it's like tug of war. So as soon as you get out, the faster you run back to base, the faster you can get back to your position and re-hold that line again. But if you take forever, that other team's going to creep up on your territory and push you back. So it's whoever has the most ground on that side field. It's a lot of fun. So that's kind of our side field there. And then we have 2 other fields that are turfed. One is our speed field for competitions. And then the other one is what we call our Wasteland Field, which is actually what we modeled the Call of Duty map shipment off of. So we made our map with totes, those water totes and stuff like that that you see for construction sites. And we actually set those double stacked and about 3 or 4 long, like shipping container. And then we have those all over that Wasteland Field. We actually have a picture on our Instagram. You can actually see it of aerial view from our drone and stuff like that. But it's wicked fun.
So Tabor, you suck at explaining what the fuck you guys do and are about, because this is great. This makes me want to come play, because I have never seen or been near something like that. Oh, he's got it right here. Look at that.
Yeah.
Dude, that's fucking sick.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say I'm playing your shipment map. What's my FPS? Full auto? Do we care?
So the main field is the only one we have really regulations on. The main field, that's staff ran, semi only. You have your 2 spawns ready to go play whatever objective-based game we give you. Side field, Wasteland Field, both allow rentals, but basically it's up to you guys. So if you go out there with you and your guys and you're like, hey, let's just play 2v2 but full auto. You all agree on it? Sure, let's go. Full auto, have fun.
Nice.
We have guerrilla fights out there. Guys with speed QB gear or whatever, they come out there like, hey, can we do guerrilla fights? I'm like, go for it. There's chasing each other around. I don't care. Do what you want. As long as it's okay between the two of you, knock yourselves out.
Shit, yeah.
Yeah, so you can do whatever you want, burst fire, full auto, whatever. As long as the people that are in play are in the same agreement, you don't care. Then on the speed field side of things, that's our tournament style play. So really it's only self-equipped players. And you have to understand that it's tournament play out there. So if you're trying to go out there and do something stupid, you're going to have to fight the 20 other tournament-style players that want to actually practice.
Right. That's sick. I'm down for that. That's something we need to go do.
As a matter of fact,
for sure.
Speaking of stuff you need to go do,
okay,
you guys need to go follow True Aim 916 on Instagram, because if they get 3,000 followers on Instagram by the 27th of June, everyone who's a member of their Instagram who follows them can play free on July 3rd. So
wow,
you guys,
that's a lot of people.
Even if you're not from there, I feel like you should go
just
follow them, because then you're helping your fellow airsofters get a day of fun for free.
For free. But make sure you buy BBs, guns. If yours breaks, there's always stock. There's always things to buy, grenades, whatever.
And if you're like, hey, I don't really like Instagram. Well, then you can do it on Discord, because if they can get to 1,000 users in their Discord,
yeah,
by
definitely
June
do the
27th,
Discord.
then you can play for free on July 2nd. So, guys, make sure you go do that, because if you're local to the area, the Discord is probably actually going to be the best place to go to get information. If you're like me, Facebook has become more confusing than anything, so I just hate going there for info. So Discord's pretty easy to follow. As a matter of fact, we're using it right now to stream the show. So if you guys aren't a part of our Discord, you could do that too. But also, inside their Discord, they have a notification that lets you guys know when we're going live as well. So it's a win. It's a win.
So
for
it's
everybody,
a love for everybody. Yeah.
Win.
Yeah.
So you were messing with boxes earlier. I'm assuming you want to show us something?
Boxes.
Or were you stacking your phone?
Oh, yeah, I was just stacking my phone.
Okay, now I was getting excited.
You
He
were
was all
like,
like
"Oh,
prepping
is
for
there
something,
something
and I'm
cool?"
like, I noticed this.
There's nothing cool.
But there's
Got a
nothing
good
cool.
eye.
There's nothing cool.
I was hoping he's like, Caper bought you plane tickets to come play at our fields. And I would have been like, I guess. Okay.
Yeah.
Believe me, we're working it out. We're trying to figure out how we can do that without, breaking the bank.
Have
No,
you seen
please.
Caber's elf ears? He's scheming always.
Dude, he's always scheming for some gold.
He's sitting there just rubbing them.
Yeah, that's right. He's not got one eyebrow up and rubbing his ears, and he's in a bad mood.
My question, do you provide food?
Oh, yeah. So we have snackage out there. It's, anywhere between $1 to $6, depending on the item. $6 for beef, big old bag of beef jerky, or it's $1 for, granola bars or whatever like that. And stuff like that.
Mom, I need $20, please. I'm gonna play and eat.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
So this is sick. I want to do this. Is it AC? Is it cooled?
It's an outdoor field, so air conditioning is broken at the moment because it's summer season. But
Okay.
but we do have the Ryobi fans with the misters attached at our field.
Nice.
So you can actually have constant, cooling air and misters going on if you're off field and stuff like that. But yeah, we have cold drinks, cold Gatorades, cold waters, Monsters, Rock Stars, all sorts of stuff to keep you guys either hydrated.
Anything to keep
dehydrated.
you acting like Caber and his partners. Yes.
And also, if you're going to show up in a hoodie thinking it's going to protect you from hits, they're going to make you take it off because you're going to die.
Yes, you will.
You will literally die.
And I have seen a Chinese kid almost get pissed on at a local because he passed out. So I'm not trying to be that guy, or he really was. He did. He was and just dropped because he was in full black on a 120-day, dude. It was wild.
That's nuts. And these kids, I swear, we went to a local paintball field up here just to talk and kind of learn about their airsoft scene and stuff like that. And they were sharing how a kid passed out, and they found him in the bottom of a construction tube. Basically, they pulled the kid out, called paramedics. The kid had 7 pairs of pants, sweats, right on top, because he was so afraid of getting shot. I'm like, guys, this is airsoft, not paintball. All right, and it doesn't hurt that bad anyway. But that's why we did the rule, because how many people are sitting there sweating themselves apart because they're wearing a hoodie and a shirt and another jacket on top of it, and then they got a helmet and all this other stuff, and then you realize you're just going to overheat and get not only heat exhaustion but heat stroke. That's more serious than an airsoft shot any day of the week. So,
do you want to die?
Oh,
no.
gosh.
Take your hoodie off.
I thought you were gonna say. I thought you were gonna say because that's how you die.
Oh, okay. That's
because
how you. But please, no. We want to have fun. We want to have a good time. Only when Caber's not around. And then
the answer is no, Caber. We have not seen it because you are not as good of a descriptor as Nightwing.
This Hawk needs to be your main talk guy.
Yeah.
So just know you've been certified talkable. So
Caber, just know that you now are only there for the face.
Right.
You're the glam shot guy, but let him write your lines.
Yes, please.
That's why I review his lines before he brings them up sometimes. He's like, hey, does this sound right? He shows me the laptop. Let's change a few things real quick. All right, sounds good. Now you're good. I'm like his PR guy now.
Perfect.
So you got any upcoming events that you want to talk about? Any big special thing like 4th of July or anything?
We don't have a 4th of July plan just yet for that one. We can't do fireworks at our field. We'll catch the grass on fire. That's the only problem.
California.
With having a storefront finally, we could actually do some fun events. We're actually brainstorming how to do a movie night over here and stuff like that. Set up the projector and do some cool stuff. But for events that we do have planned, we have our night game coming up late towards the end of this month. I think it's It should be the 25th. So June 25th is our night game, and for this particular night game, so I don't know if you guys caught, we were doing a night game 2 months ago. It was Five Nights at Freddy's themed.
I do remember seeing that.
We literally had players dressed up as the characters chasing kids down and eating them. It was a lot of fun. So for this one, so this one we're gonna do. It's I haven't got the titles just right, but basically it's gonna be like Operation Jailbreak. And Operation Jailbreak for this one literally we'll have SWAT team members full decked out in full gear. We'll have different scenarios and stuff like that. We'll have prisoners trying to escape in full orange outfits. So you're trying to do either prisoner rescue, where you could be doing team deathmatch, and out of the blue we blow a horn and the SWAT team invade the entire field. And they're like juggernauts, basically, just wiping out as long as they can for 10 seconds or 30 seconds, however we decide it works out. And then horn blows away, the SWAT team disappears, and then it's back to team deathmatch. So we're looking at different objectives that we're doing for this night game, and taking some of those different aspects and be able to create a whole new environment for the next night game. Just really bring out some fanfare and a lot of fun.
Dude, I'm in.
Yeah.
You guys need to do a rave night.
That is actually every night game we do rave night. Every night game we have rave lights all throughout our entire field, all ran by these, chargeable battery packs. We actually mount them on top of the buildings, and they do these, rave lights all over the place. And then we have projector ones that like shine up on the walls and all these different colors and stuff. We played, what do you call it? Nightclub music, rave music and stuff like that during the night game on double speakers we have on both sides of our main ref tower. It's a freaking blast. This is every night game we do this.
Dude, I fucking in,
so
dude.
now what you guys should do, is you guys should go out and buy those
smoke machines,
the little cheap $1 glow sticks, and make one team be red and one team be green. That way,
it's like some Halo shit, like
we do the LED armbands. Those,
dude,
that is even better.
So what the fuck? We need to go to California.
I know.
There's a lot going up there.
All this shit is already thought
for
of.
sure. And I mean that's just our night games, and then with the night games too, like I said, we're trying to do different themes, kind of get people more spurred in. We already had someone ask us to do a Stranger Things themed night game. The only problem is creating the Demogorgon thing is kind of tough to pull off. But the themes of it could be a lot of fun. So that Friday Night at Freddy's thing was amazing. We had like 80 guys show up for this event. Damn. For a night game, that's spectacular. Usually we get about 50 for a night game. We got like 80 just because we did a themed night game. We did all sorts of hype behind Super. It didn't disappoint. It all happened.
That is sick. So if you're in California of any part or any of the 50 states, that's a place we need to go.
True aim.
True aim.
Yeah, we're always trying to come up with something new, trying to shake things up. It gets stagnant after a while. If you play the same night game, the same setup, you're playing the same games, it gets boring. So we try to come up with new things and stuff like that. So you saw, with James working with those Milsim events, we came up with Avalon, right? And then we came up with Campaign to Avalon, where we brought out the nerdy elf ears and stuff like that. Then we come up with the lore to add to it, just to give it an extra depth. And that's something that we just try to do at True Aim on a regular basis. Just new events, new games. I wish you could see our game roster. We have at least 25 games that we've just invented. Airsoft soccer, Airsoft basketball. I mean, you guys, ostrich fights. We do ostrich fights at our field. I don't know if you knew this.
Like live ostriches?
Like literally, you tell, you pair up players. You tell one is the ostrich, and he has to piggyback the other player. The guy on top is the gun. The other one's the legs. And that's the first start of Ostrich CDM. So you just, and you got the guys puffing with a kid on his back. You have a little midget holding a gun. And if you shoot the rider,
dibs being top. That's it, dude. We'd be we could see over all the walls. Okay,
it's so much freaking fun.
That would be crazy.
That would be fun.
Till you Ric Flair slam this kid down, bruh.
It would be fun.
I would be in.
Yeah.
I'd be in.
Dude, I'm in for all of this shit. So tell us what it's like to work in Airsoft.
Oh yeah, what is it, man?
Oh gosh, working in Airsoft
because when it's a hobby, it's great, but when it's work, sometimes there's different things you gotta deal with, and you're like,
Yeah, so with that, there's some really great aspects, and there's some really challenging aspects. So the really great aspects is being able to do what you want. You run your field how you want, you do the frick you want, just like Caber and I. We run the fields, we create the programs, the events. If it's a crap show, then fine, we scrap it, we try again. That's one of the benefits of being an independent. That's one of the other ones too, is that being an independent is being able to do whatever you want. If it doesn't work, you make tweaks. And don't be grumpy old men if you're going to run a field. Let's just be honest. Because the grumpy old men who run fields, they hate a certain demographic of players, and then you lose that demographic, and guess what? Your business doesn't really grow. So you just stay as a single field, and then you don't go anywhere. But if you look at like Caber and I, we're going places. We expand to a storefront separate from the field. You don't see other fields doing that. We're looking at expanding and buying another property for another field one day. So we're just planning ahead, trying to figure it out. But you're not going to go to another field and say, hey, are you guys thinking about making another field? No, we're good here. For us, we're like, all right, this is successful. Let's do it again. And we're just so excited to build another one. So we're like, okay. And then how we're going to make it different from the original field so we can keep that one unique and then do a new field with a whole different field, different aspect. I mean, when I was nuts is looking at doing like a sci-fi themed, laser tag themed airsoft field. So you ever go to a laser tag, right? Super cool, different levels, that kind of thing. We wanted to take that and just boom, make it really cool. I mean, it was Area 53 over in New York is like our brainchild that we would love to create over here in California. Like I don't know if you follow them, check them out. They're wicked cool. They do all sorts of stuff outside of just airsoft. But we saw their setup and we're like, okay, how can we make that kind of layout setup over here in California somehow? Now, California sucks running a business. Let's be honest. It's the taxes are nuts.
It's terrible.
All the permits and crap you have to go through. It's awful. But if you can make it happen like we did, it's totally worth it. So that's the fun side of things. The difficult part that kind of bogs you down sometimes, let's be honest, it's the money. All right. It takes a lot of money to make this thing happen. James and I, we were able to bring this up from bootstrapping. We basically saved up enough money to do one thing, and then we saved up a little bit more to do the next part, and then saved up a little more to do the next part. A lot of places you really can't do that. We got a gimme, it was a God gift that we got from working with the church because we already had experience with them for 10 years. So when we told them, hey, we want to make this into a business, this will allow us to, hire on people and grow and that kind of stuff. They're like, yeah, okay. So we'll just create a lease and we'll make this work and yada, yada, yada. And we're like, cool. Whereas like other places you got to spend, $20K on the lease and then you got to spend $5 to $10 grand every month. For us, we were able to just get grandfathered in. So that kind of gave us a startup for that. But
hey, you know what?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, sorry. No. I was just going to say that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's not a chance you are given every day.
Right.
So,
but those opportunities are out there, you know. I mean,
right.
Yeah.
You gotta want it.
Yeah. I mean, shoot. We Caber and I went to DFE Desert Fox event in Victorville over here in Southern California in March, and we were just packing up. Right. We were done. We had a blast. We were cleaning up our stuff, and these two old guys came up and they're like, "Hey, we hear you guys run a field." And we're like, "Yeah." He's like, "Hey, here's my card. I have a field property over in Southern California. You guys ever want to expand to Southern California? Hit me up. I got like 10 acres out there."
Jeez.
Like, all right. So, I mean, these guys came out of the blue, but I'm sure you could find property out there that's just unused, owned by some guy that's just like, yeah, I'm not using it. If you guys want to play out there, develop it, create a relationship, grow things, build a bond with the guy. You may not even have to pay the dude, but, give him some free stuff. He'll make him just as happy, set something up for his kids and grandkids so they can have a good time. And he'll just let you play out there for free. And then after a while, you brought in a little bit of money and be like, hey, do you mind if we sublease this from you? Yeah, no problem. Figure it out. But being creative, being outside the box and figuring out opportunities that are there and take them,
Right.
A friend of ours, we were talking with a friend of ours at one point and we were saying, hey, so, we're thinking about doing a storefront, yada, yada, yada. And they're like, hey, I know a field that's looking to sell somewhere else. You want to buy? It was too far out from us, so we couldn't take the offer. But people are always trying to offload what their stuff is, so they can do something else. You never know.
Hey, but it's the goal of expansion and progression, and that's awesome.
Yeah, I mean, look at it. I mean,
what
like I said, the financials are the tough one, because you charge $20 a kid or $30 a kid for some other fields and stuff like that. So you got to have a certain amount of kids, right? Mm-hmm. Then you got to balance out staff. That's something that's also a tough one too. Is you can take the fun of airsoft and have a blast with it, but then you also have to follow some of the legalities, right? Like for Caber and I, we don't take breaks. California's like, oh, you're supposed to take an hour break if you're working an 8-hour shift. We're like, we're just gonna keep rolling.
Right. We don't stop.
But then the other staff though, they're like, hey, do we get a break? I'm like, yeah, you get a break. It's just like, okay,
yes,
so
millennial, you can take your
time. Work
time
around it. Yeah, so you got to. That's the challenging part about running a field or owning a field and stuff like that, is because you got to figure out those legalities with the fun. And also too, I have to be honest, one of the challenges I had to face personally about going from a hobby or a ministry in this case to a business was, for my staff, it was about the money. For me, it was about the sport. So for me, I was like, hey, I need staff. Let's get this going. And they were all volunteer staff when we were Airsoft Ministry. Bless their hearts. They did it for a long time. They did a good job. But at one point, they came up to me and they're like, yeah, Ethan, I can't really do this on the weekend anymore. Kind of need to make some money because I need it for rent or whatever. And I'm like, dude, I totally get it. So like, yeah, I have to resign. I'm like, wait, resign? How can I keep you? It's like, it needs to be a paying job somehow. And that's where this whole conversation started. That's why I went to the church. I was like, okay, I'm going to lose this. I'm going to lose I'm going to lose this ministry that we have right now if I don't start paying my guys. So can I turn it into a business and start paying my guys? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, okay. So
yeah, dude.
That's kind of where it went. But yeah, that's the toughest part. Was I have a heart for, and James has a heart for the community and the airsoft community and stuff like that. But when you got to pay your guys, it does take back a few of the things that you can do if you didn't have to pay them. So that's why a lot of fields, they do a lot of this under the table nonsense with their staff, right? Oh, you get to play for free. Oh, you get a discount on parts, but I can't pay you. And some of them are happy with that. But when they realize, in reality, you're spending 8-10 hours a day doing a lot of work and you're not getting paid for, but free play, it doesn't quite balance out. And so a lot, that's why you get staff who just leave, that you get a lot of turnover. But, for our staff, since we started hiring them and actually paying them, and we actually pay them a good wage, above minimum wage, they actually stay. They enjoy their work. Yeah. And now they're happier because now they actually not only get paid, but they get to play for free, but they also get free food and drinks from us to keep them alive while they're reffing and working and stuff. So we take care of our people pretty well. You never see one of our staff members punch a kid because they're doing something they shouldn't be doing, right? But at the same time, you can see that our staff enjoy what they do.
Right.
Good.
You also don't hear about that.
Right. Well, you see, and like that's the one thing too that I feel like we jived with Caber so well. I mean, like we still jive, you know what I mean? But
he fucks with us somehow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, the reason why we fuck with Caber is because like
what up, Kevin?
It's genuine, right? Like DJ? the way he approaches everything is for the community, and so that's what it's always kind of been about for us. Was the whole point was
I don't want your money.
The community. To me, it's not even so much like everybody thinks that you constantly have to be like balls deep in the community to just be involved and make the place better, but you really don't, dude. You could be somebody who's brand new, who's just started playing, and you're like, man, I really enjoy this. Like, there's shit you can do for the community, such as bring somebody in, just teaching somebody stuff like that. Like
be a part of the
cool shit you can do.
The positivity. Don't be a part of the issue.
Yes,
bro.
right. Agreed.
Right.
Well, whatever the proper saying is, but don't be the issue. Don't be new and be like, well, fuck you. Like, well, I know what I'm doing, boss.
You don't have to be like honorable to play.
Right, dude. So just
whole point of the game of honor.
And it's supposed to be fun. So it's supposed to be fun, right? If you're not being honest, you're taking the fun out entirely. So, I mean,
exactly.
That's part of the airsoft sport, is just calling your hits, but at the same time, have fun with it. A lot of these guys are like, all right, I got this window. I'm going to hold this. All right, you're going to have to go in there. Oh, you screwed up. Why'd you do this? Ah!
Right. Nope.
Doing plastic ammunition out of toy guns, let's have some serious fun. Okay, when I say serious fun, let's have real fun. Okay, get creative. Okay, I'm gonna go in that building and just have some fun. Let's see what happens. Get creative. Go nuts.
Right.
Go Michael Keaton. You wanna go nuts? Let's go nuts.
But that's what I miss, man. I don't have fun anymore. We don't have that. Like when I go to events, it's just fucking to go like pretend vacation. Right? So like no, it is, but like it excites me to hear about fields like this.
Right. Yeah.
That I can come to one day and be like, dude, that was fun.
Yeah.
Right.
and genuinely mean that was fun.
Right.
And, like,
Actually have fun.
Did you remember that part? Did you remember that
Yeah.
part? Not damn,
Gushing,
dude. I almost rolled
yeah.
my fucking ankle 70 times, and my knees hurt. Like fuck this event, you know? No, I'm gonna come and have a good time, eat good, be with good people.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's awesome to hear.
Yeah, I mean, the stories are the best part. It's one of my favorite parts about cleanup at the end of the day. You know, yeah, it's hot, exhausted, or whatever. But listening to the kids, like, chattering about what they just did or how the matches went or whatever. Dude, I got this guy, snuck up behind him. I took a whole squad of guys, whatever. I mean, just hearing them gush about their little war stories and stuff like that, it just makes my day. It makes me so happy. And,
That's worth
and then
more
when
than
the
money.
parents pick them up, and the parents are like, dude, my kid had the best time at your field. Thank you so much for being here. Like, it's like, that's all I need. If I didn't have to worry about paychecks or payroll or anything like that, that's all I needed.
100%, dude.
Yeah,
Dude, that's awesome. I'm really excited that
What up, everybody?
that everything kind of worked out and that you and James ended up meeting each other and and from there is like just
I got to
truly
tell you how we met.
born,
I got to
you know?
tell you how we met
Oh
on that one.
no, let's
I
hear
am
it. No,
interested in this.
let's hear it.
So, one of the just random Airsoft ministry things at the time, one day a week at that time, it was just Sunday, I think, at this point. And it was just regular play. And this bald guy just comes up to me and he's just like, dude, I love what you guys have here, but there's so much stuff we could do. And he's just throwing ideas at me. And I'm like, whoa, man, we're just a ministry. We're just here to have a good time. Like, we don't need to get all serious and all this other stuff. It's like, no, but seriously, I really want to be a part of this. And I'm like, okay, well, here's the application to be a part of the ministry, you know, just fill it out, send it to me, and I'll review it, and we'll go from there. And he's like, cool, man, takes it and goes. I'm like, all right. We get applications all the time at that point. People are just like, hey, I want to be a part of this, and then give them the paperwork, and they leave, and they never come back. So I'm like, all right, whatever, you know, get out of here. And then he comes back one day, he's like, all right, I got it all filled out. I'm like, wow, okay. All right, well, okay, well, I'll review this, and we'll talk about it. He's like, okay, cool, so when can I start? I'm like, let me review the paperwork, and I got to, you know, because since we were a ministry ran thing, he wanted to be a leader technically, so we had to get approval from the church to bring him on, and background checking and all this stuff. He did pass, as skim as that was.
Wow, that's amazing.
But yeah, so we got through the whole process. He's like, cool, so when can I start? I'm like, well, you can start now. He's like, hey, what do you want me to do? And then he started off as reffing. He's like, okay, cool. Now I want to bring in my training aspect, because, you know, I was from the National Guard and the Army and the police force, and I do trainings with these guys. I'm like, all right, well, this is just an airsoft field, but sure, you can do some training, tactical training through our building. Sure enough, he brings, like, you know, the police department. He brings in, like, different, CCW groups that want to just practice and train and stuff like that. So he brings out all his KWA gear. He had all, like, 3 different KWA pistols, and you're doing, like, pistol training, and then he was doing classes. Then he started doing like starter airsoft classes. Okay, this is how you tie a building. This is how you do this. This is, and then, you know, running drills and, you know, doing glass house drills. Right? I don't know if you're familiar with those, but basically just put you know, four corner cones for those who don't know, and you're like, all right, this corner you're going to do this, and then you're going to move to this other one, do this, and it was all sorts of craziness. And then from there, it was just, you know, he was one of the staff, and we did staff meetings, and he was just as vibrant as you can get, and he was just a lot of fun, just excitement brought into the field. And then he started leeching out his crazy vibes to everybody else, and that's when all the ideas started coming out with, okay, we're gonna do this, I want to try this kind of event. Okay, James, we don't have the money for it. Okay, how can we get the money for it? It was just like, okay, I want to get this kind of stuff. Okay, let's put this on the field. All right, what kind of layouts and stuff? And then just kind of blew up from there. So that's just Caber in a nutshell.
That is Caber in a nutshell.
That is 100%. But you know what? Like, it's not very often you meet a guy like Caber, who is willing to put his soul into something he believes in.
And that's why we brought him in, man. Because when you got someone who wants to do it with a full heart and passion, you can't say no, because you break the poor guy's heart, you know. So you bring this guy in, let him have free reign with a little bit of leash, you know, just to make sure he doesn't go too far over the edge. But at the same time, you just let him do its thing, and just amazing things have come over having Caber on our crew. I mean, seriously. And that's why he's CEO of our companies, because he had the vision to take what I was running at the time, to the next level, just blowing it up. I mean, at Airsoft Ministry, I would never have imagined having a tournament field there. We held tournaments, but we never had a tournament field. Guess what? James was like, we need to build a tournament field. Okay, cool. Let's go. We'll build a SpeedQB level field. Okay, cool. Done. Built it. Yeah, it's not good enough. Let's make it a little bit better. All right, fine. Let's make it a little bit better. Okay, cool. Hey, Ethan, I want you to join I want you to try out for a team, get on a team, and be a part of the tournament community so we can see how we can do better. Okay, cool. Let's go. I got and tried out. I got onto Team Tacos. It's the Airsoft crew of Sacramento. So Tacos, right? The acronym is Tacos.
That's cool.
And go figure. So got onto their team. And guess what? We played at a tournament called Syndicate, right? Syndicate Airsoft or whatever. And they played it on a paintball field using air bunkers, like paintball bunkers. And we had a blast. And I was like, dude, playing on turf is the way to go. Because our field was on dirt. So we were like, hey, turf is the way to go. Because you can slide. You don't have to worry about ripping your knees open. Okay, how much is that going to cost? All right, for 2 fields, it's going to cost $10,000. Can we do it? Yeah, we can do it. Okay, cool. Let's save up for another month or two, and then we'll buy the turf. Okay, bought the turf. All right, how do we get it down? All right, let's get all this. Fast forward, now we have 2 tournament-style fields, fully turfed, ref towers, full bunkers, the works, and players love it. We get at least 3-4 teams every weekend just practicing drills and just getting involved in it. And then when we host our tournaments, we get about 20 teams out there to do tournaments and stuff. It's a freaking blast.
With a field like this, how are you not the richest man on the planet?
I am in my heart. Seriously.
No, that's okay, but fair enough. But like at the same time, though, like, how is this not a 200+ person no matter what going on field?
It has everything to do with the weather. It blows my mind. Yeah, it has everything to do with the weather. You got a lot of fair weather players out there. If it's not, 70 and sunny, they won't go. But at the same time, I mean, we're still cranking it in, like the number of players out there and stuff like that. But
I hope you guys get more. This deserves. Yeah. Damn, is this one of those moments where I'm really into whatever, and I'm like, everybody needs to go do this right now?
Yeah, I feel like if anybody's in California and you play Airsoft or you have a general interest in it,
that's something you need to go do right now.
This would be the number one field to hit up. Like you see what I'm saying?
For sure.
And even if you are watching this, right, and you're an Airsoft player and you don't play whatever, you know what I mean? When you're recommending your friends to go play, there's shitty fields and there's fields that are like, they're all right. Like if you know what you're doing, you'll be fine.
Right.
And then, there's fields that are just like straight up accepting of everybody, and I feel like that's the fields that you should be sending people to. And so like with that is how you get people started in Airsoft with the right vibe, because that I feel like is what the biggest problem with Airsoft right now is some people are
fuck
getting
that field, but I'm going to go back next Sunday.
Some people are getting
we hear that all the time.
Negative vibe
all the time. And you're like, why do you go back? It's just because it's the closest thing to me. You're like, why? Right. Like one guy came from another field, and he came over, and he's like, so what's your guys' equipment restrictions? Yeah, I mean, do you guys allow Polar Stars? Because I know my other field at home doesn't. I'm like, we allow everything. Why wouldn't we allow you to do that? We want you to spend your money and play and have a good time. Why wouldn't we allow you to? He's like, well, what other restrictions? We have FPS and jaw restrictions, but you can run drum mags and extendo triggers, knock yourself out.
That's wild. Paintball vibes.
It's just, exactly. I mean, dude, but we don't have restrictions that stop your style of gameplay. I remember when 4-Star and HPA really just started taking off, like way in the beginning, when it was like $1,000 to build an HPA setup. I had like 2 guys who had them, and they were like, yeah, it's super expensive, but it's so cool. And they were like, people were like complaining about like, Polar Star, you got to ban those Polar Stars. We're like, no, we'll put an FPS cap like everybody else, but we're not going to stop their style of play. You just got to get better. So suck it and play harder.
Yeah, you suck.
And I can't tell you how many, and our rules brief, that's one of the fun things we talk about is like, there's no crying in Airsoft. It's actually our rule. We actually got it from Tom Hanks from League of Their Own. We're like, no crying in Airsoft. There's no crying. You cry, you don't play, right? And sure enough, you stop getting those whiners out there, those Airsoft Karens that complain, these guys are just shooting too high. No, you just suck, right? You got soft baby skin. Exactly. Are you too old and you got breakable skin? It happens. It's part of the game. You don't like it, go back and play laser tag and Nerf with your neighborhood buddies.
Sometimes you get slapped in an area that's a little bit sensitive,
Yeah.
It's got to suck it up.
You get crotch
like,
shot. It's part of the game. If you don't like it's real life. It happens. This isn't laser tag.
You just got to be like, you know what? maybe I'm becoming a little bitch, but it's fine.
Yeah.
I hope they get that,
I'm
that
gonna go
little,
redeem
little,
myself.
little person tucking their head going, I kind of suck. I should really step up my game.
Or
now.
it goes to 180 and they start just hitting people with their gun. That's, yeah. World Series with your head, bitch. Like, I'm going to swing this thing. That's what it is. Please don't shoot nasty in the knees.
I didn't know they made airsoft guns in Louisville.
Ooh. That's fucking dumb.
I don't know, man. But what I do know for sure is that I'm happy you could get on here with us. I know we had made plans before in the past, and
oh, you guys
we
are
just
open
got
right
busy,
now.
but
So, right? You're open right
we
now?
are open right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. What's your day? What's your hours?
So for the field itself, it's 9 to 2. So we actually changed originally our hours were from 11 to 4, but now it's summer and it's already 100 degrees by noon. We moved our timeline to during the summer between end of May to basically August. We usually change our hours from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. And then for the storefront, we basically mimic the same time. So it'll be 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Actually extending it to 3 because we actually had a lot of people show up after the field closed because they wanted to buy new stuff. So I'm like, cool. So we're just making adjustments and stuff like that. So so right now we're open 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. on the weekends, Saturday and Sunday. On Fridays we're open from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. So if you want to play on a Friday after work, you got tired of working a long day, come play Airsoft for a few hours, have some fun. And but follow us on Instagram because that's where we post everything. That's our current events basically. So if we're telling you we're doing a special event, that's where it's gonna be posted. If we tell you we're closing on Friday because it's 103 degrees before we even open, we're gonna tell it there. So definitely follow us on Instagram, TrueAim916. That's where you'll find us.
I got it pulled up on the screen here, so y'all should see it. I mean, a lot of you guys are guys who watch the show all the time,
Right, and already know about
you
this.
already know about them. But I want you to go double check, make sure you're actually following them because we're trying to help some people get some free gameplay here, and they're at 28, 27. So make sure you share it on your story. Where I think we can really help get them there.
Oh, and it's much deserving. It's more than the followers. It's just deserving.
Right.
It's more than the cash you can bring in. It's just deserving.
Right.
This field is deserved. You are blessed to play at this field. Okay,
right.
So 100%. Come spend your money, have a good time. Actual have fun. Don't just be me and show up to another local and be like, fuck, my knees are gonna hurt after this.
Yeah.
And that's it. Come have fun, man. Sounds like a fucking blast. I want to go.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And like I said before, we don't play just standard TDMs like other fields or just capture the flag. We do all sorts of different games, different objectives. We get whack job ideas just based off of how many players came that day. And we're like, how many we got? Can we do 4 teams on a main field?
Jesus,
hey,
4
let's go nuts. All right, we're going to play, Purge. We play Purge. That's enough. So Purge is basically just team deathmatch. We split into 2 teams. And then at any point, one of my ref staff will just pull out an air horn and free for all for 30 seconds.
Oh, dude,
so you
that's
could be
wild.
stacked up in a building. Yeah, I got this. Oh, shoot! Because you didn't realize it was Purge. And just random fun games like that. We just have a blast with. So
sick.
check us out.
Dude.
It's totally unique
Please.
from other fields. We do all sorts of whack job stuff, but at the same time, so one game you may not like, you're like, that sucked. I don't like that game very much. But other games you're like, dude, that was freaking fun. I want to do it again. And all of a sudden, nope, come next week, we'll play it again.
Oh yeah, you have to go back.
Yes.
Yeah.
Reoccurrence.
We don't play the same game twice, with the exception of team deathmatch, because we play team deathmatch for the first game just to get everybody warmed up, and then one more time at the end of the day when it's a low attendance or whatever. But otherwise, we play a new game every single match. Every day is also different. So we don't play Saturday as the same roster as Sunday of gameplay. So you may play, Touch the Cone on Saturday and never play Touch the Cone for like 2 weeks straight. You'll play a different game every single match. So it's never the same setup. It's never the same game. And we also change our field at least twice a year. So we actually changed the entire layout because we made our buildings modular, so you can actually take it apart and move it somewhere else and rearrange it and stuff like that. So we'll actually be changing our field sometime soon because it's been almost 6 months since we did it last change. So, yeah.
So mad shout out to True Aim,
Yes.
Hawk, Caber,
Nightwing,
and their whole staff. We really need to figure out how we can make it out there.
Nightwing.
Absolutely. I'm still working with Cabra on how to work.
I called him Hawk.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to call you Hawk.
It's all
Oh
good.
my
It's
god,
all good.
Nightwing. Dude, listen, I'm retarded.
He's
You'll
thinking-
find that out.
He's like thinking over here, like he's thinking like the Mortal Kombat, like Nighthawk.
Dude, the gun.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Do your thing. Thank
Love
you
it.
for coming on the show. Everybody go
Absolutely.
support the people. And have a good night.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, take care. Thanks very much.
No, thank you.
See you. Abrupt ending.
Abrupt ending.